thought I would go through and present kind of a survey of the Acreworks fine instruments that we've made over the years. It's actually been kind of a lot of years, and definitely haven't presented them all in one go before. So this will be kind of a shallow pass. Each of these, you know, completing an instrument is kind of a, I don't know, a journey. It's a long hike. It's a battle if you're militant, and any of these could have its own history book about the trials and tribulations and joys and successes. But let's just go through them briefly. This one I'm kind of jumping in line. This was from 2 years ago. I think it was like mid to late 2023. And it's called the StrumbleBee. Thanks, Dan, for the nickname. And the, I guess, general type of instrument is stick dulcimer. So it's tuned D, A, D, like a traditional lap dulcimer. This is an hourglass mountain dulcimer that I also made in 2023. That was later in the year, like in October. I'm not sure my timeline is going to be very coherent here, but that's okay. Anyway, the DAD tuning, the diatonic frets, so it's always on the major scale if you play a fret. Except there's some surprise frets. Anyway, that makes it really fun and easy to play. It's hard to find a wrong note. And yeah, I like making these. So the StrumbleBee is here. But let me go back some years. This one was a baritone ukulele. It still is a baritone ukulele. And this one is dated 2010. I happen to know this was like the 4th iteration of this project, so I definitely was making them. I say we were making them. Actually, my wife Jennifer, the architect, is a big hand in the design of this one, giving it that kind of uniform, coherent, all beach look to it. It was really fun. It isn't like a traditional baritone ukulele body size, of course. This one over here, this one in progress, is a baritone ukulele body, and it really illustrates the difference in volume and just soundboard area, which is why this one isn't really, I don't know, huge sounding, but it's really fun to play. It's louder with a pick. It's even louder plugged in. That's right, folks, it's got a piezo pickup. But in my current setup, there's a problem. Oh wait, I thought I was going to get terrible feedback. It's working pretty well. Or what about with an octave pedal? It's growling, right? Anyway, now I'm just playing, but that's kind of the fun of it. You can just play. My pedal board out of view is just a tuner, an octave pedal, a Strymon Flint reverb pedal that I've borrowed from a good friend and would not have purchased for myself. It's just too fancy. And then an Ocean's 11 reverb pedal, because can you have too much reverb? I'm not sure. Anyway, hello, hello. All right, the baritone ukulele there. Jumping forward in the timeline, I think we go to this one. This one was kind of early pandemic era, and the project here was like, okay, what if we took that baritone ukulele kind of thing and tried to make it a more standard ukulele size. So this is a concert scale length. I can't remember exactly, like a 13.5 or 14-inch scale length. It did at one point have 4 strings. I harvested that tuner for a different project. And I don't know, it's never been very like lively. It's walnut, but kind of thick. It has cherry bracing, which is, it's a very heavy, a very dense bracing material. And I put the bridge way out toward the tail of the thing. And the bridge is peeling up. So there are all sorts of reasons it's not like the most amazing ukulele. But it's pretty. It was a fun project, and it also was a way, kind of in that pandemic time, to turn my attentions to something that was energizing and joyful. I think we can all remember a need for moments like that. That one never really had a fancy name. So yeah, the StrumbleBee, I think, was the next one. No, let's jump back to the Kantele. This is a Kantele, K-A-N-T-E-L-E. It's an ancient, like really ancient Finnish instrument from, you know, long before Finland was established as a nation. The people who lived there had these legends. There's an amazing record called the Kalevala. I think that's the right name. And yeah, long ago, a wizard found the jawbone of a giant pike, that's a fish, and strung it with the flaxen hair of maidens, and it sounded very pretty. And I believe the wizard was able to work magic with that Kantele, the original Kantele. This one just has the kind of regular everyday kind of magic of pretty music. It's a 5-note, 5-string Kantele. It's strung in D. And you can also strum it. People will strum, like mute 2 strings. Some Kanteles are fancier, and they have a little turny thing to change, to turn it from a major, 5-note major scale, to flatten the 3rd, to make it make that minor, and with that it's more versatile. You can go happy, sad songs without changing the tuning. But this one's that kind of brilliant simplicity. This is all one piece of maple all the way around here, and it has little rubber feet. It has the string bar there, the varas, the ponsi or pommel that you rest your hand on depending on ways you're playing, and the kind of traditional bird head shape. I've sketched out some fun alternative shapes for that, but haven't made them yet. But yeah, this is a really fun instrument. For all its strings, it's a lot you can do with it, and it's certainly a unique tone that you're not going to find on a lot of music. So putting a little bit into a song is a way to make an ear perk up, to call attention to things. I think this was a Western, yeah, this is Western red cedar on the top here, and it's a traditional open back. Some people make more modern Kanteles that have a closed back and a sound hole, more like the guitar type instruments that people tend to be more familiar with. But it's a different tone, and this tone, the original, it's very distinct, and there's definitely a place for it in the world. So yeah, the Kantele was in early 2023, and then the StrumbleBees, and did this one before going to the Black Mountain Music Festival, which was fun. This is actually a kit build that I modified in a couple of ways, but that's from the Folkcraft instruments, Folkcraft Dulcimers. I forget exactly the name, but that's a high-quality dulcimer company and a really great kit. If anybody's curious about building a kit dulcimer, I recommend you do. We jump from there. Okay, these two will be the last ones, but in between, this was kind of an impulse build. I'd heard about ukulele basses. I think there's a U-bass term that's like a registered trademark, maybe of Kala ukuleles. I forget exactly. But yeah, you can build one even without it being a trademark U-bass or whatever the term is. These strings are these kind of very dense rubbery strings, and yeah, it makes a very cool noise. And this neck was a prefab neck from the internet. These tuners are, golly, they're not good tuners. There's sort of a certain way you need to hold it so that it actually turns and doesn't strip out. And the rubber strings are such a pain when you tune them. You like adjust the knob, and then you have to pick up the string and wiggle it back and forth to kind of equalize. Okay, this area is more tension, this area is less. Equalize, put it back in. Okay, now it's in tune. But also, this nut slot buzzes. I might have forgotten to mention, I don't play bass. I never have. But that didn't stop me from making a U-bass and really enjoying it. What do we do? The top, I forgot to mention that. The rest of it is kind of a boring, this is regular walnut. I joined it, it's a joined plate of walnut. But the top and the bracing inside are very exciting. Those are from New York City water tower wood. So it's redwood that for many, many decades was a giant plank that formed a facet of a water tower that provided water to one of the buildings in the Manhattan skyline. I'll never know which one, but I was able to order some pieces of that wood, and it's a pain to work with. The outer ½ inch is, of course, weathered. It's also very, very blackened. I think, you know, air quality standards were not always what they are now. And yeah, I didn't machine away enough of the crackled surface from its aging, and so there's actually a crack here that I didn't notice when I was building it, and I did right after I built it notice a crack in here. So there's actually a little cleat that I've already glued in there. So that's kind of a pain, but still to have the history of it. And it's very cool sounding wood. When you hold it up and tap on it, it makes a very unique tap. So I'm looking forward to using it again, hopefully more skillfully on a different instrument sometime. So that's the ukulele bass. What other details? It's got a floating bridge with a bone saddle that I carved myself. It's kind of fun. Not very vegan, but definitely very fun. I'm going to put my finger on that vibrating nut slot. That's it. All right. Now, this tenor ukulele, this is definitely, I think, my crowning accomplishment as a luthier, or, you know, I guess we're all luthiers in training. We'll never be satisfied that we are Stradivarius, but Stradivari? Anyway, I followed videos from Robbie O'Brien, I think it's the Lutherie Academy, and this was advanced ukulele making with Robbie O'Brien and Jay Lichty, a builder over in the North Carolina area. And I, had plans and video guidance, and then I kind of diverged in many ways that made my life harder. So this took 11 months to build. I completed it November of 2024, I'm pretty sure. And it's so great. It's not perfect, you know, it's definitely, there are things I could point to that are imperfections that just make it slightly less beautiful. Other things I could point to that are imperfections that make it not sound as good as maybe it could have in that perfect world out there, but it's still pretty cool. And yeah, this one also has a secret pickup. I custom soldered a pair of piezo discs. Let's see how badly this one feeds back if we try to plug it in with these particular settings on the pedals and the amp. All right. Right now the cable's going into a tuner pedal that cuts the signal. So there's no feedback yet. And I'm damping the bridge, and now I'm hitting the pedal. No feedback. What about the octave pedal? Let's drop this thing down. It's a bass, y'all. It's a bass. In the easily amused category, this is pretty good. So anyway, I really enjoy the mere accomplishment that this thing represents. It was so much work, so much learning. I had to build so many jigs and fixtures to make it happen. I had to fix some flaws and things. And yeah, in the end, it's just a joy to own and a joy to play, and I would love to make more like it eventually. That's the tenor ukulele. I forgot to mention, it's a very long scale length. This is a 19¼ inch scale from the inside edge of the saddle, all the way up to the 0 fret. So there's a bone nut and saddle, but a 0 fret that actually stops the vibrating scale length. So 19¼ is crazy long for a tenor ukulele, and while it has advantages, it's also kind of a high string tension. And like if you're bar chording a D chord, it ends up like being kind of a lot to hold down. So I think if I do one of these again, it's going to be a little shorter, maybe 18½ inches. And incidentally, that'll leave more room in the case for this headstock. This was meant to be sort of Ken Parker inspired. If anybody's familiar with Parker guitars, the Parker Fly, more recent work, his Parker Archtops before his very sad death back in October of last year. But anyway, that headstock was kind of sketched out to be longer, larger, and then I sort of pre-chopped the wood to size so that I could be storing it in its case before it was actually shaped and completed. And I realized, oh, that case is not like I thought it was. Now I've not got as much wood to work with as I thought I did. So anyway, for the proportion of the whole thing, a future version of this will probably have a slightly larger headstock. And that's that. And then the Electro Uke. This one is laser engraved on the back, Acreworks Fine Instruments Electro Uke 1.1, and its date is 2025-04-21. So it's about a year old. 11 months. And this one's such a joy. It is, it's a very compact piece of fun. I worked on the weight. I forget what the weight came out to, but it's still pretty light for what it is. It is, some people will look at it and derisively say, it looks like a cutting board. May not be everybody's look, but if you like stripes and you like natural hardwoods, this is all maple, cherry, and walnut, scraps from the Acreworks fiber products, the yarn spinning fiber. Our AcreKate product that we've made, the Lazy Kate, generates a lot of kind of scrap, more or less like this, depending on the boards that come into the building. So that kind of inspired, what if we laminate them up and turn some of those into an electric ukulele? Or, yeah, also the StrumbleBee was the same sort of scrap build thing. So this one doesn't make much noise without plugging in. Not zero, but some. Plugged in. It's there. These tuners, by the way, so the tuners are down here. This is just an anchor up at the top end. Just a hole and a little aluminum bushing inside there. But now it makes noise. And you can pick. Same octave pedal trick. Still amusing to me that we can pretend something this size is a bigger, lower sounding instrument. And one thing I always love doing is the on the Ocean's 11 pedal, what they call the shimmer mode, which is, I think it's bringing in octaves. It's not entirely unlike what the octave pedal does, but it goes shimmery. Yeah, that's so hypnotic. I could mess around with that all day. I think it's called noodling. This one's also kind of fun for the E-bow. Turn off the Ocean's 11. Nope. The E-bow is this weird thing that's been around for a long time, and it excites strings electromagnetically. So when it's flipped on, it's generating an oscillating electromagnetic field, and you hold it near a string, and it's hard to control because it's meant to kind of rest on the strings, and the strings on this are not at the right spacing. So I sanded off the bottom of the E-bow, and I made a little E-bow boat with differently spaced grooves that match this ukulele. So with it in the boat, I can put it on there, and I am not skilled in the use of this thing, but boy, is it another thing that's just hypnotic and fun to play around with. So I'm excited to be building a new one of these, actually in the process right now of tweaking the design that's going to be optimized for the factory-built string spacing grooves on the E-bow, and it'll have a couple other tweaks. It'll be a longer scale, and it'll have flat wound strings, so it's very, you know, if you slide your fingers on this, you're going to hear, you know, a little bit of screech screech of the string scratching on your finger, and the flat wound strings will have a lot less of that. So that's a work in progress that hopefully I'll be posting updates about for your amusement and entertainment and enlightenment and so forth. But I think we've more or less done it. This has been a pretty decent range of instruments. As you can see, they go way back to not long after first started doing woodwork back here in Knoxville after moving back here. And yeah, so I think probably the very first ones would have gone back to 2008 or so. And now the most recent ones are right up here in the ripe old year of 2026. So yeah, again, I wouldn't call myself a luthier. Like that's a level of accomplishment that I don't think I'm ever going to really feel comfortable claiming. But it's a lot of years messing around and being bad at luthery, whatever that's worth. Thanks for watching this. Feel free to write in with thoughts, questions, comments, and criticisms of my playing. Those will be valid.